Well, House Bill 298 passed in April of 2017. The bill provides public schools with the framework to help educate both children and educators on how to address childhood sexual abuse.
This piece of legislation is also known as Tara's Law. MTN's Elizabeth Transu sat down with Tara and joins us now with her story.
Tara is an advocate for a number of issues, but this one hits close to home: childhood sexual abuse. She travels the state telling her story. In fact, she was in Cascade County this week talking with law enforcement. She recently sat down for her first face-to-face interview with MTN News about the abuse. Tara's story starts at the age of 5. Her parents divorced and she moved to Augusta with her mom.
Right in the midst of the divorce was when my mom met my stepfather.
And just as she thought things couldn't get any worse,
I didn't really know that at the time, obviously, that he would make such a horrible impact on my life. But I still remember the very moment that I first laid eyes on him.
Tara says the abuse started when she was 6.
When you're a child and you're sexually abused for the first time, it's very, very confusing because you don't understand what this is. You don't understand what's going on at all. And I remember sitting there just thinking, like, what on earth just happened to me? And from that moment on, it was just confusion.
She would be 12 years old before she gathered the courage to stand up for herself with another victim.
And we said, we have to do something. We had told my mom at that point so many times. We told her parents even. We had just told everyone else, and we felt the only person left that might be able to help us was the police.
In the middle of the night, they decided to run to law enforcement, not realizing it would make matters worse, reliving her story multiple times, recalling every instance of sexual abuse.
There was never any time where we felt comforted. It was basically just, here's some paper. I had to tell my story to the deputy's wife who answered the door, to the dispatcher when I called 911, to the sheriff when he came downstairs, to the child services worker when I got to the children's shelter, and then I had to do a filmed forensic interview. That's a lot of times for a child to have to repeat a traumatic story over and over to strangers.
Another 12 years passed before Tara would go to treatment.
It was there that I learned about post-traumatic stress disorder.
She celebrated her 28th birthday by serving her stepfather with a lawsuit.
I knew immediately that day that my life was going to be different.
Some closure finally came in a deposition.
I walked into that room one person and I left a different person.
Tara is sharing her story in an effort to help other victims.
I think now more than ever, victims are being heard, and that's the key.
And to advocate for each and every one of them. Tara says the deputy she and her friend ran to that night in Augusta was the former Lewis and Clark County Sheriff's Deputy Virgil Wolf, who has since been charged with 80 counts of sexual abuse of a child. He'll be tried in Cascade County. As for Tara's stepfather, she says he completed a community-based sex offender treatment program and was never sent to jail nor required to register as a sex offender. In Great Falls, Elizabeth Transu, MTN News.
And that was just a snippet of Tara's story.
You can head to our website to read more about her childhood, how her life is today, and what the legislature is doing now to combat abuse.